We know the Bengals plan to franchise tag Tee Higgins, but could they sign him to a long-term extension? An optimistic report about the Bengals' chances of keeping Tee long-term. Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com. The latest Tee Higgins news brought to you by Rivertown Inquiry. Get your CBT dad hat there right now. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. Join the 42,000 plus that, make Cincinnati Bengals Talk what it is. Shout out to you. And let's get to Tee Higgins. It's the biggest debate, discussion, question mark of the offseason. And it's something I've said. Go after Tee Higgins. And if you're going to tag him, try to re-sign him. Try to keep him long-term. And it sounds like that's what the Bengals plan on doing or are doing, at least according to Tony Pauline, an NFL insider who he's been around the league for a bunch of years. He was working for Sportskeeda now. And this is what he wrote. He said, sources close to the Bengals tell me the team is trying to negotiate a contract extension with Higgins to lock him up for the next several years. If the team cannot agree to terms with the wideout by March 5th, they'll tag him, but continue to negotiate with hopes of signing him long-term before the start of next season. Any way you cut it, the Bengals hope Higgins' long-term future resides in Cincinnati. And the March 5th deadline is for the franchise tag. If they do tag him, they have until the middle of July to sign him to a long-term extension. I think the importance of this report, and I don't know exactly where it came from, because if you're Higgins's people, you do want the Bengals to try to negotiate as much as you can, as long as you can, the idea of a long-term deal and try to get that done. And if you're the Bengals, I think you want your high-end wide receiver that's a top 5 player on your roster and just 25 years old. So I think this makes sense on both sides when you look at the report itself. And to me, if the Bengals plan on franchise tagging Tee Higgins and keeping him on the roster in 2024, then they might as well try to re-sign him and keep him for the next 4 years or so. Maybe it's a 3-year extension, not a 4-year extension. I don't know. But they should sign him, and if they can, and if it's reasonable. And I do think that T will be reasonable. And I know there's questions about David Mulligetta, his agent. Look, they couldn't get it done with Jesse Bates. We outlined that on Enter the Jungle earlier this week. We'll see if they can get it done with Tee Higgins. But it's at least an optimistic update that the Bengals aren't just going to tag Tee Higgins and let it play out, that they haven't completely shut the door on the idea of extending him and signing him to a long-term deal. So we'll see if it gets done. And obviously, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you get the latest news and latest reports, updates, even if it's something as small as the Bengals leaving the door open and pushing for a contract extension with Tee Higgins. Speaking of, next week, the NFL Combine, we will be in Indianapolis. From Zach Taylor to Duke Tobin, multiple Bengals coaches. We're going to have interviews right here that you're not going to be able to see anywhere else. Plus, Ted Karras is going to join us on Enter the Jungle next week as well. So we have a lot coming your way. I know it's the offseason, but it's about to pick up with the Combine, with Ted Karras next week, and with free agency. So subscribe, ring the bell so you get alerts, and buckle up because things are picking up, and we're really excited about it here on CBT. So for Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. We'll see if they get a deal done. And until then, whether it's a franchise tag, whether it's any free agent rumblings or something in between, we have you covered right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk.